Hello and welcome to my presentation on effective communication. The purpose of athletes doing interviews with the media and significant others, and also the types of interviews, for example radio. Reasons why athletes do interviews are because it helps to enhance their own status. For example, it leads to attracting sponsors and also leads to getting their point of view on post-match incidents. There are different types of interviews that happen over the media. For example, there is the radio, television, internet, and also newspapers. As a result, this could mean it could be either live or pre-recorded, which goes out to the TV. Describing how to communicate effectively for both media and significant others. When you are having an interview, it is good to have a good verbal language, as it will give you a good impression of an athlete that is doing the interview. Therefore, the way to do this is use friendly, peaceful tone that will be easy to understand when in the interview. Make sure that it is well paced when you are talking in the interview. For example, make sure that you speak clear and make it not too fast but not too slow. Also, make sure that you answer closed questions with either yes or no. For open questions, make sure that you answer it and explain it with more detail. As a result, this will show off to the sponsors, which could lead to making more money, showing to the significant others that you have good verbal language. Also, effective communication skills could also lead to getting better opportunities. For example, coaches might want to play in first team more because they think that your attitude is good, and that's what managers look for in a team player. When you have an interview, it is good to have a non-verbal language, as it will help to lead to a good impression to the significant figures. Others. Also, sponsors and agents might try harder to get into a better club. Therefore, having good eye contact and gestures is a good thing because it can help to develop a relationship. Also, by looking eye to eye to someone, showing that they have good amount of confidence, which is good to have when being in an interview. This is good because it could also lead to a teammate passing the ball to you in a match more if they think that you are presented in a good way, which could lead to you scoring a goal in a match that could change your future forever. So then it could also lead to bigger and greater things, like getting a cap for the England national team, which would be a great honour. Comparing differences of communication for media as significant figures. For an interview that is only on the radio, the only thing that you need to be good for this type of interview is verbal language. As a result, it needs to be good so that then you can express your opinion in a good way that comes across with a positive attitude, so that then your sponsors will be more interested in you. Also, the club will be happy with you if it leads to making the club look good. Therefore, get them more into the club because the interview is so good. This means you don't need to be formal like when you're having an interview with a sponsor. And you also don't need to use body language for being on the radio compared to when you need to have good body language when having an interview with a manager. And having an interview with a sponsor, for an interview with a sponsor, you want to dress up smart so that then it gives a good impression and makes you look nice. And dress up well, it is good to have a good body language and also verbal and non-verbal language, which means that it is needed to be specialist language also when talking to the sponsor. Also, you need to be more formal than radio and interview with manager, as this one will make you a lot more money if it goes well with the sponsor. For an interview with a manager, you can be less formal, and then you can just ask questions that you want to know from the manager that will help you with your time at the club. If you've got any to ask, and you need to use good language when speaking to the manager, because it shows that you are mature, and that is what a manager likes in players who are respectful. This is for this one, you are asking questions to the manager. For other two types of interviews are being asked questions about from a person on the radio or sponsor that will be asking you questions. Therefore, it's give you a good impression. If you give some good answers, then you are more likely to get more sponsor money. Planning for interviews. The purpose of planning for an interview is so that then you will know roughly what you are going to say, then you are less likely to slip up then, and the club might want them to say a certain thing that you have to say as it reflected on the club, and then the club will be happy with you because you've done that also, so that then you will not freeze when you don't know what to say. Also, the purpose of having a script is so that you know what you're going to say during an interview, so that then you won't be hesitant when you know what are going to exactly say. The purpose of rehearsing for an interview is good as it helps with practicing, so that then you will be able to do it without a script, which shows that you have thought more about it. This leads to you looking better in the eye of the public and the audience, and might make more sponsors attracted to sponsoring you, which also leads to making more money. The next part of this PowerPoint, I will be talking about career planning. The importance of planning for both a career as an athlete and for a backup career. The importance of this is so that then you don't become poor or bankrupt if your career doesn't go to plan like you thought it might have gone. Another thing is that you get seriously injured from playing the sport that you do. You will find it hard to do something else to make some money. So then you won't be left with much to provide for yourself and maybe your family if you have it. So then after your career as an athlete is over, you'll have to find another job that you can do which will lead to still earning some money so that you can provide for your family or yourself. So it can help with supporting also your future, and when you decide to fully retire from sport and becoming an elite athlete, you'll have a good sum of money so that then you'll have enough to live the rest of your life comfortably. What are goal settings? What are SWOT analyses and how they help the planning process to go well? Goal settings are good for athletes because it helps giving them an idea about what they want to do, which leads to them helping them to get them achieving it, which could lead to becoming a great athlete and doing well in the future. SWOT is a good thing for athletes to do as it will help with the process to be the best they can. Therefore, they are like goal settings as they help to plan out for their futures. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and also threats. A SWOT analysis for a selected athlete and sport. I have chosen to do mine on Joseph Schooling, who is a swimmer. Strengths: butterfly swimming, communication, concentration. Weaknesses: time, experience, motivation. Opportunities: sports support, facilities, access to getting help. Threats: money, age, injury. Short, medium, long-term goals for Joseph Schooling. Right, short-term goal is to train 10 hours a week, which he should easily be able to do. Medium-term goal is to make sure that he'll be ready to compete in the Rio de Janeiro competition to give him a chance of winning the competition. Long-term goal: win a gold medal in the 100 metres butterfly race. Smart targets for a selected weakness. And the selected weakness I've chosen is time for Jason Schooling. Specific: state what you want to achieve. For example, make sure that he goes to training more than he does already. Measurable: how will you know when you have met your target? For example, by making sure he can go to as many sessions as he can go to. Achievable: can you get the target? He will get his target if he carries on. If he only needs to go 2 to 3 times a week to make progress. Realistic: it can certainly be done as long as he puts the hard work in. Time bound: he will have enough time to train at least 10 hours a week by fitting it into his routine. Method of improving for weakness, which is time, that I have chosen. He can do this by making sure that he does any work that he has to do, so then he will have more time to train, which will lead to him becoming more successful. And because if you train more, then you are likely to get better as you are putting in more hard work to do well, which will ultimately help to do better in the future. SWOT analysis for a second career for Joseph Schooling, which is going to be a swim coach. Right. Strengths: swimming knowledge, communication, leadership. Weaknesses: time, experience, facilities, opportunities to help youngsters, support them and get better experience for himself. Threats, age, injury, and the big one, money. Short, medium, long-term goals for Jason Schooling second career. Short-term goals: coach 1 swimming session. A medium-term goal: coach 6 swimming sessions within the next month. And finally, long-term goals: coach 40 swimming sessions in the next 12 months. SWOT targets for a selected weakness, and I have chosen for this is time. Specific: make sure that you have enough time for at least 2 swimming sessions a week of coaching. Measurable: by making sure that you keep track of doing at least 2 swimming sessions a week. Achievable: yes, because it will only be 2 sessions a week. Each hour is a session long, so be able to do it. Realistic: yes, because anyone can spare 2 hours in the week for some coaching if they fit it into their routine for the week. Timeline: yes, this is best because setting a goal each week and you can see if you have achieved it then by reflecting on the week. Pathway of reaching the goal: course, qualifications, lengths, costs and entry requirements. Pathway of reaching a goal for Joseph Schooling is aiming for being a swimming coach. Anyone can do the course that is wishing to become an independent coach, and the qualifications are in stages. The first level is based on how and what to do when planning sessions. Level 2 is where they look at the knowledge of how to effectively plan a session, prepare, deliver, and also evaluate coaching sessions. Level 3 is where it leads to becoming a senior coach, which also leads to you planning sessions and doing annual coaching programs, which will lead to getting the most out of athletes that you train. Pay starts between £6.10 to £6 to £10 per hour. Length of the course, depending on what you want to do. As a result, some can be 7 to 8 days long, while others can be up to a few months long. It will cost about £309 to become a swimming coach by the time you do a certain amount of courses, but it depends on what you go for, because it could be more if you go for better ones. Also, if you struggle with finance, then you are likely to get grants and bursaries, so that then you will be able to do the course and not hold you back from doing what you want to do in the future. Entry requirements for a swimming coach is that you need a qualified award by Amateur Swimming Association or have the Swimming Teachers Association award. As a result, you will need to be aged 17 before you can take these qualifications. You may be able to get fundings to help with the cost of the courses to help you excel and be good at it. Thanks for listening. Bye, Ben King.